he gets a chance.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
To be fair, even though we are Nintendo focused, we're video games, man. That's what we talk about. Video games.
So welcome to the Euro
And
Juices.
the best podcasts are when I'm not forcing topics. So, all right, what's up, everybody? There's 3 of us here for the Juices podcast.
We're dying, man.
Yep. T's running late, Terrell's working, and Robert's still on his schedule where he can't be on the podcast. So we're gonna look for new guests. I guess anybody want to join? Go to the Patreon.
only from the UK.
$100 donations get you in the pool to be on the podcast. So anyway, what's up? We got questions to get to that we missed. What's up, Donnie? But first, while we're waiting for T to get here, we'll just throw out a few things. One, it's already been 2 fucking years since God of War released on the PS4. 2-year anniversary today.
Crazy.
It's like, are you fucking kidding me? It just feels like yesterday we were calling out the reviewers who weren't didn't even mention the gameplay. They got mentioned the story in the camera, and we called them out, and then we got called out by a former Nintendo fan, now Xbox fanboy for being too hard on a game we hadn't played. It's like it's just another one of those situations where it's like we weren't trashing the game, we're trashing the reviewers of the game. Like, how could that not be so clear? I mean, to me it seems so fucking obvious.
It was obvious, what we could see compared to what they were talking about. And
I'm like, I know nothing about the combat based on these reviews. They've hardly, like, it maybe got a few sentences, and I play the game and the combat's really good. Like, why wasn't that the focus? Why was it the camera angle and it was the camera angle, the graphics, and the story? And it's like, that's what we were shitting on. I just don't understand how that got taken any other way. But anyway, 2 years. I waited till closer to the end of the year. I think I picked it up in 2018. It was probably, I can't quite remember, probably August or something. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. It made my top 3, I think, games of the year for that year. If not, I don't think it was 2. I think it was 3.
I didn't get mine. I didn't get mine day 1, but I got it pretty quick. I think almost the same week, maybe. I knew it wasn't too long.
Yeah, and I listened to Terrell's take on the game. He streamed it on his first playthrough, and he felt. I watched a couple of his streams, and he's talking overall the best little moments where you're in the rowboat and the severed head guy, I forget his name. He's telling you all these cool stories about Norse mythology and stuff. I'm like, man, you're missing all that cool little stuff. Yeah, it's it's not gameplay, but when you're rowing from one side of the area to the next, it takes a few minutes sometimes. It's kind of cool to have a different story every time you get in the rowboat, and stuff like that was missed. And then I seen OJ today saying he's going to replay that and Resident Evil 2 because he feels like streams ruined his experience of both those games because people were telling him what to do constantly. And
yeah, see, those are the types of games I can stream. Some games are you need alone time with personal time to absorb it all. I feel like when you stream stuff, it's either it needs to be a game that you've already played, or just something that you can talk over and not get too engaged with.
Yeah,
action games. The main problem when it comes to certain streamers like OJ, for example, is there's certain streamers who hate backseat gaming. And to me, that's the whole point of streaming, to play the game and the audience interacts with. There's no way you can play a game like that and not have people comment about it and tell you things.
Or you either completely ignore the chat and just carry on playing and talking.
Yeah. I'm guilty of it because I was watching Terrell play Doom. And I waited. He was stuck in a spot for about 2 minutes. He kept going back and forth. And so I finally was like, dude, go up through the door, then turn around. And then you got to jump. You got to jump up to a opening, then you have to turn 180 degrees, look up, and jump back across to where you came from, but above. And he just wasn't figuring it out. And I was like, okay, I gotta say, dude, this is, we're watching this. So I can't blame people for wanting to not see you just sit there and be struggling for 5 straight minutes, when it's but that's what gaming's all about, is figuring stuff out. So it's like,
Yeah,
I don't blame the audience for not wanting to sit there and watch you struggle.
You can't. I've done that as well. I think I might have done it on, like, even like if you're doing a juice opinions, and it's the same as like when you're trying to think of something, you're like, oh, what was it called again? Someone in the chat, let me know, or whatever. You know, and you, it's on the tip of your tongue. You know the answer.
Yeah, when you're asking for it. That's
you
cool.
know, it's yeah.
But so I just saw that it was God of War 2-year anniversary. Retro Death, I don't think you've played it yet, right?
No, it suffers the same fate as some other games. Like I gotta play all the other shit before that first.
Yeah. You still got to play Control this year too. Remember?
Oh, Doc, I haven't forgotten. I'm legit looking forward to that. When the Game Awards happened and they were Control, and everybody was like, "What the fuck is Control?" I looked up the trailer and I honestly legit thought, "Oh, that looks pretty cool. I actually do want to play that." So the fact that I lost the bet and I have to play it, I'm legit looking forward to it.
Yeah, that was exactly how it was for me too. It was like I had seen a Digital Foundry video about it, but knew nothing of the game. Just kind of brushed it off. I think it was revealed during an Xbox E3, where they reveal all the third-party games, and then I seen it at the Game Awards. And I'm like, what the hell's up with this game? Why is it nominated for so many damn awards? And I'm sitting there looking at all the. It's the same publisher as Death Stranding, so I was all conspiracy theories with it. And then I watched a review and I was like, that mentioned Metroid Prime style, like, you know, get an upgrade and now you can access this area type stuff. And looks pretty cool. So I picked it up for like $40 and was my number 2 game of the year. So, what's up, T?
What up?
What up?
We were just.
I heard what you're saying there. So the thing is, though, I'm not disagreeing with you. That's great, but why were the review scores not where they should have been? I think for a Game of the Year contender.
Yeah, it was like an 82, I think.
Did they just miss it? Did they just not get it?
When I read most of the complaints, the initial launch, there was massive performance issues with frame rate, which they fixed like a month later. Still not perfect. But you know how reviewers are. They got to play the game for the release date to get the review out the day the game comes out. Otherwise, they feel like, you know, not even worth it. So they all played the pre-release version. That's the only real negatives I could find that I seen pop up over and over when I was just checking the reviews. Because so I don't know if that was enough to bring it down. You know,
even if it was, you know, it's quite staggering. Especially in today's day and age, and you know, with these games from you know, these types of companies, where it's not like, you know, where we're going back, you know, to the early 3D days, where a really bad frame rate could really affect, you know, the gameplay itself. And I very much doubt that Control got to the level where it became unplayable.
It looked a couple spots, yeah, definitely almost froze up at times. It's not perfect.
Well, there you go.
Even on the Pro, I mean,
that's quite surprising.
There's it feels like they made the game that, you know, they pushed it beyond what the current generation can handle, knowing that they wanted it. It's coming to PC, and I'm guessing they knew the next consoles were coming, and they're like, yeah, we got to push what we want to push. I wish the PS4 Pro version had a 1080p where you could just choose the lower resolution and get the more consistent frame rate. But for whatever reason, there's no option. It's just boot the game up and play it, and it's forced at upscaled because it's not native, but it's got the checkerboard rendering or whatever going on, so it's kind of forced upscale in it. And
well, I was saying it's quite surprising, but then, you know, the same thing happened to Ori. With a Wisp, you know, it's just a damn shame, you know, because I think we've had this discussion before, haven't we? Where we're just like, you know, should games get second reviews? And you know, it's I don't think you'd see it in many other industries. You know, it's not like you could release, you know, Lord of the Rings in a theater, and then, you know, they had
extended cut.
You know, some well, they had like some bad scenes or something, which, you know, where you could clearly see the cameraman and like, we forgot to edit that out, you know, and then release it again, and then expect to get another review with another cinema release. You know, except with games, you know, we seem to be able to get away with a bit more. But then, you know, how often do to games like Control get a chance of having a second review. I suppose it takes moments like award shows to say to people, yeah, the game had issues, but overall, my God, it was great.
Yeah, and it's one of those. It's weird because I got a Doom Eternal, and I was like, it is still, as far as like dual analog first person shooter controls, I said it's the best playing game I've ever played. It still is. It's so smooth. It's so fucking just fluid. I mean, it's amazing. And I went back to Control after I got the new expansion, and it's not going for the same thing, but my first few minutes were like, man, like this just feels so not stiff, but it just not anywhere near as smooth. It's targeting 30 frames per second with some dips, but it's not a game meant to be where you flow through the environment super fast. Your movement's definitely slower. It has a similar dash in the air tech that Doom Eternal has, and it's just that wasn't their focus. And I'm like,
you were thrown off by the pace
at first,
change your pace. Yeah.
But then I didn't put Doom Eternal back in for like almost 2 weeks until yesterday, because I just couldn't stop playing Control. And I'm like, that's something I wanted to bring up, was gameplay, like just raw, like what you're doing. Doom Eternal just blows it out of the water. Like I said, it just plays so good. But something about that game, what it offers, just from the story, the atmosphere, retro, you'll love the atmosphere, I know that, and just something about it. It's enticing to me. It's I just couldn't put it down. I'm almost to the end, and I kind of want to make it last as long as possible. There's two like side little missions. One is I've died probably 10 times trying to do it. You're on like these like minecart kind of things going super fast through a tunnel, and you got to jump from one to the other, and there's this boss at the end, and I keep dying before he gets like down to like maybe a third of his health bar. And I was like, man, I'd just probably say fuck it, but I want to make this game last. I don't want to just rush to the end now. But it's just weird to me that it's like, yeah, gameplay's king, but it still plays fine. Like it's just a different. Obviously, they're going for something completely different from a gameplay standpoint. A little more. It's not really about the shooting and getting through the environment like a boss, like in Doom Eternal. Run for your life type stuff. So. It was interesting to me that I ended up staying with the game. Technically, that has lesser gameplay, but so anyway, let's get to these. Let's get through some of these questions. We'll see what topics come up. Definitely want to. Somebody posted in the chat or in the Discord yesterday about a Best Buy posting, and it still was there. Best Buy still had it was their official site. I mean, I logged in, I clicked the link, it took me to my Best Buy, and it had a Metroid Prime trilogy for Switch. Listing says no longer available or removed or something, but it was still there. You wouldn't been able to search for it, but having the direct link took you to it. So let's see. Let me find it. Make sure it doesn't has my hometown in it, but that's not that big a deal. But yeah, Metroid Prime Trilogy, Nintendo Switch, has a SKU number and says this item no longer available in new condition. So somebody added it. It got in Best Buy's online store, and then they yanked it. So I think that's kind of that's pretty good confirmation. I think out of all the things I've seen, that seems the most legit. But I don't think. Unless somebody could get into Best Buys and just put it on there, and I don't know.
Somebody that sad.
I guess, but it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't just me seeing a photo. I actually clicked the link, went to bestbuy.com, my account, and it showed my store, and then it was there with a SKU number. So it seems pretty legit that it's coming. And it kind of goes to what we were talking about last week with controls, when I said I wouldn't. Some people felt like Resident Evil 4 was too easy with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, where I said Metroid Prime that's the only way I'd ever want to play it again. So it'd be interesting with a Switch version. What would they do? Would they add gyro aiming to make kind of in between, so it's not quite the full pointer aiming, but still different than the original GameCube version? So, what do you guys think? If it seems pretty legit, this rumor keeps coming up, but what would the Metroid Prime trilogy control wise? What do you hope it would do? I know Retrodeath, he don't want no motion controls, so.
Well, I mean, you can still add motion controls, just, allow me to play it without them with a normal controller. Like, that's really all I ask. I think, because it's been, I finished the original Metroid Prime. It's one of those games I probably finished most, but it's been a very long time since I last finished it. And I think if you just make it, I think what you said is that it wasn't really twin stick, like you had to strafe and that kind of shit. I legit don't remember that because it's been so long. So just make the controls a bit up to date, like make it a bit twin stick. I agree with Clucket. It's not a shooter, but I still feel the same way as we talked about Resident Evil 4. You still should have like really smooth, free controls in games,
or just have the original exact the way it was. Have maybe one where the right analog. I don't know what you'd do for switching weapons. I guess you'd hold a button for a weapon wheel. Maybe you could hold L1 or LB.
Oh, I mean, it's Metroid Prime. You have like the D-pad to switch the weapons.
I wonder what the D-pad was used for originally, and then have one where the right analog stick turns the camera, and then have one that has motion aiming. Like have 3 options, and that way, it's anybody's playstyle is there. I don't know that they would do that, but I guess that would probably cover the most bases.
Yeah, I can't. It's like, if it's the Prime trilogy, this. I don't know. I suppose it annoys me, that it's getting everyone's got so excited about the Metroid Prime trilogy, even though we've had it multiple times. It's just that that
it's the Switch version though, man.
That Switch fever again. Like,
I can play it on the go, man.
But it's like, it's I can't see them radically changing too much up. It's going to be in HD. It's gonna be the Wii. The Wii trilogy version of it. But then at the same time, it's I can't. I mean, there is the possibility. I know it can be because we really have to take into factor Metroid Prime 3, and I think that's
it
that's
has
the biggest.
To have something for Metroid Prime 3.
Yeah, that's the biggest kicker. Now the other 2 games, you could technically allow for strafing, because the game had strafing. You just had to hold the left trigger button down and move left or right. You didn't need to lock on.
That's what I was describing last week. If you held it halfway, you could strafe. As soon as you held it all the way, then you stopped moving and you just aimed all the way around the screen.
But it's quite weird. I find it really weird how I'm not excited about this. I figured maybe it's just because if in my head it's just going to be the Metroid Prime trilogy. Now what I mean by that is because I played the original so much, and I've got the Prime trilogy on the Wii. Just to play those again in HD is not doing it for me, which is I find that really surprising for myself. I of all the people, I thought I would love Metroid Prime in HD, but I think I'm going past those types of games now. So I would need.
I think what you have is like what I have too. Like I said, is one of the top 5 greatest games ever made. Prime 1, I think, but people have confirmed this rumor, and this is not like a Retrodeath exaggeration, for like 5 fucking years now. Every goddamn month it's confirmed and somebody had it. It's like I borderline don't fucking care anymore. And it's like you said, it's like I don't care if you just give me like a Wii version that is HD and shit. Do it right. Remake it the way they do, or remaster it the way they do, for example, Xenoblade. Add shit, add foliage, make it bigger, make it more impressive. Don't just up-res the textures. Like, I don't care.
So what about
Yeah,
you, T? What do you think they could do for Metroid Prime 3 was designed totally around the freedom of moving with the pointer. What do you think gyro aiming can get close enough to that where they just go with that, or what do you think?
Well, I don't think they're just gonna singularly go with that, because the Switch means you have to have traditional controls.
Yeah,
you can have
Mm-hmm.
motion controls, but you have to have traditional with the way it's set up, because you're gonna be doing handheld. A lot of people are. So I think what they're gonna do, they're just gonna find some way to fix 3 to where it's traditionally controlled. They'll use a cursor or something like that on screen. Doesn't it naturally have one anyway?
See,
I
that'd
think 3 has a cursor. It's gonna be garbage.
That'd be such a downgrade from Metroid Prime 3.
But I mean,
that's how I feel about Metroid Prime after playing with motion controls.
You're not gonna have to play it that way. I'm sure they'll use gyro, and that still won't be perfect, but it'll be something much better than.
Because you can't be sitting there left and right aiming. Isn't necessarily that intuitive with for gyro. Like
with gyro, yeah.
You got to use the Splatoon method, left and right with the stick, up and down with the gyro. They did that for a reason, because otherwise you're tilting the controller more uncomfortably go left to try to go left and right. You have to like move your whole body, so they almost have to do a hybrid where it's like Splatoon. And then the interesting thing will be, like, what do they do, like, for 1 and 2, since they were initially designed, without gyro or without the motion aiming, but then added, but they didn't really change too much else other than how you select, the beams and stuff. You just held a button and then went into a direction with waving the remote or waggle, whatever. And, but then at the same time, if you're playing in portable mode, somebody doesn't want to have to move it at all, so they pretty much would have to have standard controls across the board. And I'm just wondering what people would think today, because obviously the reason to do it would be to try to get more people to play the games and anticipation of Metroid Prime 4. So would it be a good look if they just said, you know what, Metroid Prime, we like it the way it was with a controller. We're going to go back to that, where the left stick does your forward, back, and then you're turning left and right, and then you have to hold a button to strafe separately. I just wonder if today's gamers, if that would be a good look that says, yeah, I definitely want to play Metroid Prime 4 after...
Sorry, whenever this footage you're watching here, this is like a modded version.
Yeah, this is modded because he's jumping. I was just doing it to see what the game would look like.
His beam looks really weird when it's like glowing blue and stuff.
Basically, this is just to see what the game would look like at higher resolutions. Yeah, he's like flying and shit. Let me find a different one.
It looks broken as hell.
I just wanted to see what it could
obviously
look like.
he started the game from beginning, and he's got all his weapons
Yeah.
and stuff. So it's
this one's probably better. I just wanted to see what it could potentially look like with just higher resolution.
Well, you could Dolphin. I mean, they have it on Dolphin, so
that's what this is. Yeah. But that was a modded. I didn't realize it was a fucking mod. I mean, it looks pretty good just with higher resolution. I mean,
I've played the Dolphin version of Prime. They've done a great job with it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Metroid Prime. They've crisped some things up. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they could release Prime now, and it could have a Xenoblade remake type of upgrade to it. Then fuck me, then I'd be going nuts. But just in my mind right now, I just can't imagine if this was going to be a trilogy in a single pack. There's no way I can imagine Nintendo doing that to every single Prime game.
No.
And then charging you, So I just, in my mind, it's just going to be the Wii game in HD, maybe some cleaned up textures, here, there, everywhere.
Yeah, but, like that planet. The background planet here looks pretty rough.
Yeah, Talon 4. I mean, that always looked a bit rough, but I mean, you can see the dome of the sky and stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, it was on a GameCube. It's we had those.
Even the Dolphin, when you just saw Samus land, the suit itself is so pixelated and shit.
Yeah, mostly the spaces in between the armor looks the worst. But overall,
this is a good starting point. Like, if Nintendo wanted to kind of do the bare minimum. They would start with this, but they would still add more to it to make it better. I don't think they would just leave it as, oh, let's HD it and then up-res it and see what happens. No, they're gonna do more.
Hopefully, they don't change it too much like Majora's Mask, where they kind of change things for the worse in certain areas.
Yeah.
Metroid Prime is one of the 2 games that when I was younger that just blew me away because of graphics, to add another touch of graphics. When you were walking through a hallway and the steam pipes blew like the steam on your visor, when the first time I saw it, I was like, holy shit, it's so realistic. This shit.
You can see your face.
Shoot the bugs here, and then all of the slime would splatter over your visor.
Yeah, just like it just did, as you were
saying.
You
can see your eyes. You can see your face.
Exactly.
I got a bit of a delay. So.
Yeah, but for people watching it should have been right on time. So, and it's one of those things I've been thinking about here and there in the last year plus, probably. The Wii was pretty capable for 480p, like that.
Well, you can look at Metroid Prime 3, and it looks incredible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
that's a great light.
It was just it couldn't do the higher resolutions and do everything it was doing, but for 480p, like I actually think now more. I never did. And even when the Switch came out, I said, I thought the Switch was, or the Wii to 360 was a bigger gap, but only in the resolutions. If you look at just like the character models and the environments and stuff, I don't think the Wii was that much farther behind. Other than the resolution, texture resolution, maybe some on, the level of detail of like Xenoblade, the foliage density and stuff. But overall, I think it was a lot closer than I think a lot of people thought. Maybe.
I mean, I can remember Prime like the back of my hand. So it's like when if you skipped forward a bit, not telling you to, but if once she lands down on Talon 4, it does a panorama. You can see the plants and stuff like that. You can see like the textures are bad on the plants and stuff. Now there's no doubt about that. And that's all stuff that they could clean up, and make look really nice. And I think that'd be great. But
it's not an open world game, so it's very you can do a lot of stuff because it's very structured in its level design.
It's beautifully structured. This to me is absolute perfection. It's but I mean, like I said, I think we're getting to the point now with these HD remakes, and especially wanting to just chuck them on the Switch just because, hey, Metroid, I didn't play it all the times it came out over multiple consoles. I want to play it now on my favorite Nintendo Switch. If they're going to remake Metroid Prime to me is up there with Mario 64, with Ocarina of Time, with Link to the Past and all this stuff. So if you're going to bring these games back, do them singular and do them fucking well, because Metroid Prime is in my top 5 games ever made, and I still think it pisses on all games I've played this generation. Just my opinion. I know people all about that, but I still think it's just near gaming perfection for what they achieved with this game, and it's just to me just porting it to the Switch. Just say, use your HD port. It's not like the Wii anymore. This is a fucking Nintendo Switch, man. If you want to kill a title for this year, Metroid Prime remake. Fuck,
I think that's one of the things that frustrated me the most with the GameCube, because it was a powerhouse. But if you looked at it, it looked like a Lego house. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't get it just didn't mesh marketing wise with and marketing has to do with how it looks as well. Marketing wise, what it could do on the inside, and that was one of the things that was really, it was kind of confusing because you remember the marketing,
like a sophisticated, high tech, high powered thing,
and it stumped a mud hole in the PS2. It wasn't it really looked a lot better. Like the games
especially
looked and ran a lot better.
Games.
Like, especially exclusive.
It was almost like it was almost like like what the Dreamcast done in just terms of just doing everything in high res. There were games on the Dreamcast
really
that ran better on the Dreamcast and looked better on the Dreamcast than the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, it made when you got that platform that can nail what it's trying to achieve, my God, the GameCube was just
because I was just gonna say the GameCube didn't have games that didn't run at 480. You know, and not all of them were progressive scan compatible because I had a HD
but
TV.
Metroid Prime 1 and 2 were progressive scan.
Yeah,
so.
and that made it, that really brightened up the image and clean. You know, just looked a lot nicer overall. But there wasn't any GameCube games running at 240p or 360. Like they run at 480. No question about it. They push decent amount of polygons, and even the textures maybe didn't get displayed at this highest resolution, but they found out when they did the dolphin thing that these textures were actually really high quality in the file, you know, but the GameCube just chose to not display them at their full potential. And it's like, that's the thing with the Switch, like when the games hit like Luigi's Mansion 3, when we see it, like, you know, what we expect in this day and age, a 1080p game with a solid frame rate, when it hits that, you're like, oh my God, look at Luigi's Mansion 3 is amazing. You know, if there was just more consistency.
Yeah, it was just so confusing because, like, you have the component cables, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nobody even knew they existed almost when the system came out. I was like, you guys put this into the system. This is something you cared
had to buy
about.
It from the Nintendo Online store.
And you had to buy it from the online store. It's just like, what are you doing? Why is there so much disconnect with this? Because you clearly have a powerhouse here, but you don't want to market it as one. And it was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and it wasn't like the one thing about the Xbox. You just turned on the Xbox with component cables. You selected 480p as your output, or 720i or 720p, and there was even 1080i option.
It was 1080i.
So, in every game. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to quickly change the subject, just then, because just in our starting area, it was at this moment where I said the Wiimote and Ninja combination is it for like first-person shooters,
yeah.
and there's this little training thing you could shoot, like this block you can bounce. Yeah, the box, and it bounces up and down. When you're juggling that with the Wiimote, oh God, I tell you what, man, that was just when I started this game. I was like, yo, this is fire. Absolute fire.
Anyway, what I was saying is,
but Donnie Art's some GameCube games had a widescreen option.
Yeah.
So,
but with Xbox, it was like, okay, I have a 16:9 TV. It goes up to 1080i, 720p, and 480p, all supported. You put in a game, and every game that came to Xbox had widescreen. Every game had at least 480p. Some had the option for 720 or 1080 if you had the TV. Every game that came out to Xbox, there was no question. You didn't have to wait for Matt Casmassina to say, first thing he said in a review on IGN, yep, it's got progressive scan and it's widescreen support when it came to GameCube games. That was what I waited for, because I spent like $2,000. I bought a widescreen Toshi or Panasonic rear projection 47-inch TV, and that's, you know, that was important, because it's like, why did I have to wait to find out if a game supported it or not? It was just that weird. They didn't go all in, but they had the capabilities of it, but they didn't fully go commit to it. It was just weird.
Well, I mean, they didn't want to go. Obviously, they didn't even want to go to HD. No. You know, in 2006.
But the GameCube was, I mean, supported 480p progressive scan component video, and it's like. But anyway, let's get to these questions, and then we'll see where the conversation goes. So these are from oldest one's from April 5th, so it's been a while. He said, Dave 97, since Link's Awakening was remade, do you think Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons and Ages is next in line for a remake? How do you feel about the Oracle games? Those are the two Zelda games I haven't played, along with Spirit Tracks. So
yeah, so I played both of them, and I haven't completed both of them. And
same for me. I played them both.
The biggest reason was, I mean, these were essentially coming after, you know, Link's Awakening, right? But we already had Link to the Past and all that stuff. But the Capcom Game Boy Color games, they were so unstructured to me. I love the concept. I love the concept of the time travel, of course, and the seasons. And you know, I love that. And I'd love a full Zelda game to work with seasons that way. That'd be something special. But the way that these games were structured, they felt so unbalanced and so disjointed. I could never work out fully where I was meant to go, what I was meant to do, and I'd get lost quite a lot, and I got really frustrated. And then, you know, of course, you're still playing your Game Boy games. Then, of course, the Game Boy was out there, and we were still playing some games. But I mean, God, this was the N64, PS1, you know, Saturn era, you know, PC era, and you know, everything was just blowing up so fast. To want to jump back on your Game Boy and play these games, it was difficult, and that's rare for me to say that, but it was difficult to go back to those games. But I tried them at the time. I bought them. I traded them in, and then I got them again on the 3DS. Tried, and I can't play them. I just don't like them.
Is there anything they could fix, you think? And
well, we're talking about, you know, if they've done, you know, like a Link's Awakening type of remake. You know, for once, I think a detailed, more constructive map would be better, and also for once, some actual some decent guidance on where to go, because they reused a lot of NPCs from Link's Awakening, but they all done many of them done different things, and it was, like I said, it's just when you're trying to work out where you needed to go, it was really difficult, and that frustrated the crap out of me. So I think there's quite a few quality life changes that they can make, but to be honest, I think they're the type of the Zelda games in the lineage. A lot of people like this. I think we can forget about them. You know, honestly, I don't think we need them.
I think I have to agree with some of that as well. So Oracle of Ages and Seasons were two Zeldas that I hadn't played ever yet, and I think about a year or two ago, I finally was like, okay, I gotta play these games because I always heard they were really good. So I bought Seasons because that's the one I was most interested in, I think. And I started playing it, and I didn't have any fucking cables to charge my DS because my rat had chewed through it. So I had that one load. So I started playing it, and I think I played for like 2 hours, and I'm not even kidding. I was stuck in the beginning screen. There's like 3 NPCs. You can't go anywhere, and I couldn't get out of the screen. I had no idea. I talked to everybody 5 times. I couldn't go anywhere. What do I do? Bam, my battery died. I was like, fuck this shit. I've played it in like 2 years, and I haven't touched it since.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, Capcom, I mean, they nailed it then with Minish Cap. Minish Cap is freaking so good. I would take a remake of Minish Cap any day. They nailed it with Minish Cap, but with the Oracle of Seasons and Ages, and then you had the whole, you know, they need to you can link them up, you know, to unlock this and that, and you know, it's going to the Pokemon.
They tried that Pokemon bullshit.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
nope.
it's just, I think it's just wrong, the wrong time, just the wrong type of time to try and do that type of Zelda game. I think.
I don't think there's a right time to do that type of Zelda game.
No, there's a right time to do the time travel and to do the changing of the seasons and stuff like that. I just meant it's the wrong time to put another 2 Zelda games on the aging Game Boy in an age where innovation was just flying through the roof, and most people were only playing Pokemon then.
Well, and the Game Boy Advance had was it close to coming out, or had come out by that time? By the time Oracle of
I think it was.
Ages came out. I know it was 2001, but I wasn't sure.
It came out. No, because the Advance, because I was still working in electronics boutique when that was in '99 and '98 when those when I remember those games coming on sale, and the Game Boy Advance released 2002, was it 2001?
You sure?
I think the Game Boy Advance was before the GameCube, wasn't it?
It was a little bit before.
The Advance was before the GameCube, yeah. I'm sure
But what I'm saying is, because I got the say again.
Just the Game Boy Advance was before the GameCube for sure.
Yeah, it was before. I got the. I can't really remember what I was doing for a game. I know I was pretty much over Game Boy at that time because I was just like, oh man, this thing's been around for like 10 years now, and I still can't see unless I got a light pointed at it.
Game Boy Advance came out in 2001.
Yeah, and but I got the. I was like, okay, I know. I mean, I bought both of the games, but I never could get through them, and I don't know what it was. I just knew that it wasn't quite Zelda to me. Like something was off. Even obviously, Capcom had made them, and I don't even think I knew that at the time, or was even
I just
paying attention
didn't
to
have
that
a
at the
Game Boy
time.
Color, so
No, wait, you're not far off, T, because yeah, God, my memory's gone a bit off on this then because
Yeah, because I was gonna say
they
I'm
came
looking
out
at
in
my
early 2001.
yeah. I thought so because I'm right now. I want to look at my because I'm an ambassador for 3DS, so that was those were two of the games that you got free.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I played them.
And I'm looking at it, and it says release 2001. So I was like, that makes sense to me because I was pretty much moving on from Game Boy. It's like a lot of people are today with when the Switch came out and the 3DS.
Then?
What's that?
I must have just been going back into the shop. I must because I finished.
Yeah, 99. I was like, that didn't sound right. I knew it came out really late.
And I must have just kept on going back to the shop just to buy stuff. Just seeing it there. Yeah.
I knew it came out really late. I knew it was either close to the Game Boy Advance's launch or right before Game Boy Advance's launch. And I was just like,
that adds to me just saying it was just the wrong time.
And I don't think from what it sounds like, I don't think they need to waste time trying to remake that one.
So, I don't think enough people have nostalgia for it. That's for one reason.
Even Minish Cap, I don't think did that well. Sales wise, but
I think a lot more people remember Minish Cap than they do.
Yeah, I played through it one time. I mean, I would be interested in a remake, more interested in that than Link's Awakening, personally. But
I think that's the kind of game that could really benefit from like a nice, actual, good remake because of the small giant stuff.
Yeah, but we're gonna get that in the next Zelda anyway. So
Pikmin 3 or something like that. Make it look like Pikmin 3. My fucking God, that would be.
They're gonna bring the Minish people back in Breath of the Wild 2, I think.
Breath of the Wild 2, yeah.
They were gonna put it in one.
All right, let's get to the next question here. Mizu Tide 89 or Mizu Tide. Hey guys, been being locked up. Do you have a favorite board game or tabletop game? I always felt it complements my gaming hobby now, and I can bounce between the two. A Song and Ice, a Fire tabletop is top notch. Monopoly can go in the bin. Spits. Also, there's a good simulator on Steam if you don't want to get into games, but no one local, etc. I don't personally have tables. I got into that a little bit a few years ago. Ticket to Ride I bought and sold it to somebody. Played it the one time and sold it. It was like $50 game, and then that was a free game on Epic Store, and I downloaded it and played it a few times. Personally, being a single guy, single household, tabletop games aren't especially being locked up, aren't very practical. But I'm guessing you guys with families and stuff, maybe it's more of a thing.
Well, for me personally, I have 3 brothers, and we're all pretty close in age. And I remember so often in the past when my parents would go away for business or a business party or whatever, and they would be out for the weekend completely. Like we would all sit together. I think I was like 11, my younger brother 9, and then it would be like 11, so like I don't know, 15 and 17, some shit like that. And always we would just get Risk out, and Risk, you don't play that shit for like half an hour. So we were up like for 8 hours straight from like 10 at night to like 6 in the morning playing Risk all the time. So that's my game. I would always swear by Risk. I just love that shit.
It means currently though, right? Like what you
right now? Like right now if you're locked up.
Well, I mean, I'm locked up by myself, so I'm not going to play Risk by my fucking self, You're going to
all right, so that was my point.
Collector, you and the girls got any board games? Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it didn't take lockup for us to to play board games and stuff, and we got Nintendo Monopoly, and stuff like that. But I don't buy Nintendo Monopoly. It's shit. It's really
too late.
It's just for kids. It's long. It's boring, and it's not great.
More Nintendo kiddie games.
But what we've been buying quite a lot of card games, and it's from a company called Game Right, and they can do like proper like Dungeons and Dragons type of stuff, the type of old cards that got great artwork on the front. You have to battle dragons and and all this stuff. They're really good fun, really tactical. And from the same guys, you got other stuff like one really good game is called Gubs, where you got like these little little alien ant type dudes, and basically you have to have as many of them free in front of you and the other player can put cages on top of them to lock them, and then you need magic spells to unlock them and all this stuff. It's just really tactical. But we're playing a lot of card games like that, so not as many traditional games. I mean, we still play, like Mousetrap and and all those types of games. But yeah, a lot of card games, and a lot of fantasy-based card games, which are good fun. So.
Yeah, same thing with me. We didn't need the excuse of being locked up to play. We had family game night, so we play. Our rotation is usually Uno. We play a lot of Uno. We played what is it called? Nintendo Monopoly? Is that what it's called? I can't remember, because we only played it twice, and we haven't played it since. So that's out of the rotation. But what we play.
Oh, you're breaking up.
What we play, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. What I was saying is what's heavily in our rotation is Uno and Sorry. Sorry is a relationship destroyer. It is a gangster-ass board game where you make gangster moves and piss people off. And so that's why they call it Sorry. But yeah, those are definitely two of our tops, Uno and Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah,
like when you get Monopoly and you get Boardwalk and Broadway or whatever. What I can't remember.
Yeah.
Then you're like, yeah, sorry, but not sorry. Every time you land here, you're bankrupt. Put a couple hotels on there and they're fucked. All right, so
I don't know what specifically it was about Nintendo Monopoly that threw us off, but we just never cared.
Well, it's a very they got much less properties on there. You have to buy everything that you land on. So if you don't want it, you have to buy it. And then in order to complete the game, it has boss fights. So every time you pass go, you have to fight a boss.
Oh, geez.
And there's seven bosses. So that's how long the game is.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, that makes.
You gotta wait. You only activate the boss when one person passes go, and that could be a nightmare sometimes. But it just drags on, and the bosses aren't that good fun. As you said, if you want to beat Iggy Cooper, roll a 5 or higher, and then you get all these points at the end. You have to get points and you win. But it's just not very creative.
It's a collector piece,
It's not like the first Monopoly. And it's like when you win the property, there's no hotels or anything. You don't pay anything. You just get the property.
Yeah,
and
that's the whole point.
You get two coins and stuff.
Now I remember. Now I remember.
All right,
but it comes with cool little figurines though.
Yeah, it does.
He also added that who's his hype for this bear year. I haven't bought anything since Luigi's Mansion 3 and won't till ... Well, ... I don't know when, honestly. Maybe time to get Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I'm in that boat. Bought Luigi's Mansion 3, and other than buying some older games like Fire Emblem or Torna, I honestly don't know when my next Switch game purchase is going to be. And you could say, well, you're just thirsty for new games. Play your backlog. And I don't have a backlog on Switch.
I mean, to be fair, for me, I still need to get Fire Emblem and I still need to get Torna. I do really want those games. I just have not got around.
Juice played Torna.
I said I would
to buy them, but at the same time, it's hard not to say that we don't know what's coming. Because that's
I do agree with Juice. Like, no matter what, you're allowed to be excited over the fact that there's no new games and you want new games. For me personally, it's like collected. Not only do I have a lot of shit on the Switch, I still have to buy that I didn't get. But I mean, what are you talking about? 2020 is already the best fucking year ever because we've got a new Animal Crossing. Like, come on, buy fucking Animal Crossing. Like, everybody will love playing that shit.
Dude, I was crying today because I was working today. I worked from 8:30 until 5 o'clock today, and then I went outside for 5 minutes just to separate myself from work and then go straight back to the family. 5 minutes that lasted because then I got called in for dinner, had my food, and then I started doing all housework and stuff. I didn't sit down to Animal Crossing till about 8:10, and I was rushing around to try and get things done. And then obviously I had to come on a podcast. I'm just like, I don't have time to play this game I want to play. I'm telling you, it's just driving me crazy.
Yeah, I should have time, but I barely touched Ori. I waited for they finally put the patch out, so it runs a lot better on Xbox. I've got Doom. What
a failed release!
I know, it's completely took the steam out of that. momentum out of that game too.
I guess that's the fact that I haven't bought it. You know,
Might as well wait. It was fine. I mean, it works. It runs pretty decently on my PC, but I don't know.
It runs pretty decently.
It's not perfect. So I mean, it's just a few little hiccups here and there, but I could probably lower the resolution and get rid of that. But it's just a weird time for me because I just rekindled my love of like home theater stuff, and I was making do-it-yourself acoustic panels, and I've been watching a lot of movies, and then I'm watching got hooked on some shows. One of them is my second time watching Warehouse 13. That is on Sci-Fi Channel back in the day. It's on Amazon, part of the IMDb like free shows, and I'm just like honestly just enjoying a bunch of different things. And yeah, I could have gotten through Doom and Control and Ori by now and all the time I've had, especially with my new work schedule, but just kind of finding other hobbies, because honestly when you just play nothing but gaming, there's times where I'm just like, you know what, I don't really feel like playing anything right now. I just turn the TV off and find something to do, like like I said, building frames and putting insulation in them and wrapping them with fabric and hanging them on walls, try to help the acoustics in my room and stuff. And like, so honestly, I said this I think to T, like it's actually worked out for me that there hasn't been a lot of like major new Nintendo games that have interested me in the last few months, because honestly it's worked out where I've gotten other things where I've gone through multiple series of shows, and now I started watching movies again. I watched Joker last night, fucking amazing movie. I don't know why every once in a while I go through these where I just stop watching movies for a while. I got all this money wrapped up into a dedicated theater room, but there's months that will go by throughout the years where I won't even turn it on once for months. It seems crazy, but when I do, it's just like, why the hell wasn't I watching a movie every fucking week? Like what the hell? But so yeah, it's actually worked out. Not a defense for Nintendo, but it's actually worked out for me personally that they haven't put out a bunch of games since Luigi's Mansion.
Well, it's a good thing Nintendo's catering to your needs.
Yeah.
You specifically.
Yeah, it just worked out, man. I'm sure if they had Breath of Wild 2 had come out, yeah, I wouldn't have watched all those shows and movies. I would have been playing that, but yeah, so let's get to the next question. I think T will definitely be able to answer this one. The first part. How many times has Star Fox 64 been remade? Well, I think just Star Fox in general, they just keep retelling the same.
It's the same story over and over again.
When will we get a new proper Star Fox game from Nintendo or another company? Yeah, who knows?
I don't know. I mean, I can't answer that. I mean, we've only had 3 different Star Fox games.
Well, what about I never played Command or Assault.
I was gonna say Command and Assault. Those are the second and third different Star Fox games. They actually have different stories and stuff going on.
Completely different story. Yeah.
So,
I mean, when it comes to story, though, I mean, that's like with Zelda. Technically, no Zelda actually has a different story. It's always the same fucking shit. So I don't mind the story, because when you think, for example,
really, Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time are the same.
Yeah, I said almost all of them have like the same fucking story. Like now you're picking like 1 out of like 20 or something. You know what I mean? When I play, for example,
Minish Cap,
normal
Oracle of Seasons, they all have the same. Come on, man, they don't have the same story. Don't sound like those assholes.
When
I say 50% of them have a similar story where you have
this is my whole point that I'm trying to make. When I play Star Fox on the Super Nintendo and then on the N64, that's not the same game to me at all, even close.
No, but I mean it's the same structure, same. You start out in Corneria and you end up on Venom.
All people are talking about is just having the Lilat system, starting in Corneria and then fighting.
You fight Andros at the end. It's the same shit.
Fighting Andros in whatever form he decides to come in.
Yeah, they could have come up with a new boss, a new path you take. They didn't have to just keep and they did it with Zero. I mean,
sorry, but Zelda takes the story way more serious than Star Fox does. Let's not even compare, because
I'd say
there's a whole lot of stuff with its similar storyline. It does a whole lot of different things, Star
It's
Fox
just
does not.
I remember I did my video on it. Just Nintendo they just don't know. They don't know what direction to take Star Fox in, which is why it's been experimented with so much. But
Which
then
I
at the
find
same
strange, because if you look at the roots of Star Fox, you should know where to go. Like Miyamoto, he loved Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds is like an epic action adventure every episode. Like, why is it so difficult?
It's hard to put them into different situations in various forms. I don't understand why.
Yeah, go to a new system and help. Kind of like in Starlink, what they found this other group and they help them out, and it's like they could have just changed that up. And I love the on rails part of it. I don't think they've really nailed the open. I keep forgetting what that's called. All range.
All range.
I don't think they nailed. I don't think they. Star Fox Zero had a few good sections of that, but I don't feel like they truly ever nailed the all range mode.
Star Fox Zero, the all range mode, just mission structure wise, was nothing compared to stuff like Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, it's the mission structure that's the problem, not the.
Still pisses on Zero in terms of mission structure wise and how to do a proper all range mode in a level that can be tackled multiple points and different objectives at different times.
The problem is though, if you go to Assault, you have it. That's where you need to go with it. Like, obviously you can change the light system and go somewhere. You're in space. You can do anything you want. You can go anywhere. Why are we sticking to one system? Let's go explore other worlds.
But they should have.
You went to Dinosaur Planet.
I was just going to say, you should have Fox get out of his R-Wing and go explore a jungle planet.
Right. Like, you can do that. Like, the blueprint to me for Star Fox was Assault. Like, it didn't nail controls and stuff like that. I think a lot of that had to do with, analog sticks and whatnot. But
I hate like the hypocrisy behind Nintendo's dealings with Star Fox. It's like, okay, Star Fox, we don't want to do anything new. We do the new shit over and over. Oh, but you're not getting a new F-Zero because we want to do something new with it. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a different Star Fox and a new F-Zero.
Yeah.
Right. It frustrates the hell out of me because I know how I could make an excellent Star Fox. Hire me. I'll do it. I'll lay the groundwork for you and everything. I will be the director of the game if you need that. I'll take a pay cut. You can pay me half of what you pay everybody else, and I will deliver you a great Star Fox game as far as direction goes.
To answer the other question though, and I've meant this since because I've said it since the Mario Tennis Opus, whatever the new one as that came out and shit. The way Nintendo fucked up Mario Tennis so bad, and then really soon after they made a good Mario Tennis game, I still think that they heard the bullshit they did with Zero and that they are working on a new Star Fox. And I do see before the end of 2021 a new Star Fox game appear.
I wouldn't bet on it,
but it's hard for me to be excited about it because we're gonna get it. Like, what are we gonna get at the end of the day? Is it gonna
Star
make
Fox 64 HD?
All right, so
it's like wanted to make Star Fox big again. They just bugged it up.
Star Fox used to be big. It used to be a system seller.
Series, they wanted to link all this in, and then they just fudged it, man. Rushed it and fudged it.
All right, so Surreal asks, do you think the story is more important than the actual gameplay in a typical JRPG? That's an interesting question because I feel story. I haven't played a ton of them, but I feel story is a pretty important part of a game.
Pretty important.
And especially
for me, that was kind of quiet there for a while.
It's more important than the actual gameplay, and I don't think it's more important.
I don't think so either.
It needs to.
It's close.
For JRPGs, the two defining features are the story and the combat, right? And everything else is essentially filler in between and all that stuff. But
yeah, I feel
you need to get those two right.
If you're gonna be grinding and shit a lot, which you do, which is something you do in
you need a driving force.
You need
grinding. Could be fine as long as the battle system is.
That's what I'm saying. You can get along with grinding with a great battle system. You can have no problem with that. Story is not going to help you in grinding. It's just not going to.
It might compel you to keep playing. Where if you like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the main thing. I just couldn't wait to get the next excellent cutscene. Really, I mean, I enjoyed the combat, but I really was excited to get to the next cutscene because I was really sucked into the characters and stuff. So I mean, I'd say it's pretty equal.
There's some minor exceptions for me, like puzzle games, and even then, Professor Layton does this really well. To me, it doesn't matter how amazing your fucking story is. If I don't want to play the game because it plays like ass, I don't care about your story. I just don't fucking care. You can have the greatest story and the greatest RPG ever fucking made. If your battle system is boring as shit, or like there's no cool mechanics behind it, or it's just wonky as fuck, then it doesn't matter. I'm not sitting through that shit. I'm not gonna sit like a shitty movie for a good finale.
Right. I mean, it's like you know, the David Cage games, the Quantic Dream games. Great stories, but goddamn, that gameplay. You know what? That gameplay can be brutal on.
Did he do Detroit? Was that Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit Become Human.
You know what shocks me? I mean, actually, I haven't been listening to as much lately, but the Next Gen 720 absolutely said he loved Detroit Becoming Human. And I'm like, man, this is a guy who's all about shooters and this and this, and like how
it's a gorgeous game,
but it is realistic visuals, you know, probably.
Yeah, realistic visuals, gorgeous.
It uses Unreal Engine 4 or something.
Yeah, I remember he was playing it. He was talking about, you know, doing the different paths and trying to keep people alive and all that stuff. He got really into that game. So
I've never really got.
That's good because he expanded his horizons.
Yeah, you know? except for when it comes to Nintendo, then it's like.
Oh yeah. I don't do Nintendo at all. I don't do that dog shit.
I can't play Legend of Zelda when Link looks like, you know, he named some female.
Those tinky winky.
Anyway, TriLink's got a question. We already kind of discussed this about the trilogy, but will Metroid Prime 4 have motion controls, and will they be refined from Metroid Prime 3? I think they'll have some kind of gyro. I mean,
what's that? This is in Prime 4, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about them using everything on the Switch for Metroid Prime 4. I'm all about that.
I don't want to have to play it with Joy-Cons in my hand. That's my.
But I do feel because of this.
You're not gonna have to play.
That's what I'm saying. I'm glad if it's there, but if that's like if they're Pokemon Let's Go where you have to fucking, then I'll be like.
That was strange. Yeah.
That's what I want to say, because Nintendo is underusing the Switch so much to split Joy-Cons. Even if I don't want to use that shit, I'm legit surprised that, for example, in Animal Crossing, I can just swing one of the Joy-Cons to fish, for example, you know? Yeah. Simple shit like that. And even though, like that, I don't need fucking motion controls, I still feel Prime 4 should have all the options. That's what the Switch is all about.
Yeah. It's a Swiss Army knife of games.
I want the game to be the game. Prime 4 should have been on the Wii U. I will stick by that 100%. Prime 4 should have been on the Wii U all day, every fucking day. It would have been, in my opinion, it would have been better on the Wii U than the Switch, right?
It would have sold 500,000 copies, but
but it wouldn't have come out till 2011, and we all know what happened.
Everything they could have used the gamepad for was perfect for
did you say Wii U or Wii? I thought you said Wii.
You said Wii U.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Everything they could have used the gamepad for would have been perfect to take Metro Prime above what Prime 3 tried to do. Right? It just would have just been perfect for it. So when it comes to the Switch, yeah, man, I want it to be almost like Mario Odyssey. Where the game is elevated by using split Joy-Cons. It's just more intuitive and better in my opinion. But at the same time, I'm kind of worried that the Switch will restrict what Prime 4 could have been because of how the Switch needs to be played in both its forms. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, it's gonna be sad. We never got a Wii U Prime because it should have been all the cool stuff. That could have been done with that game.
Mm-hmm. For Metro Prime would have just been on another level.
It would have been nice just to be able to switch visors and shit with just quickly tapping the screen, you know, just something simple. And maybe having guidance.
Having that map on screen or having that map on your face all the time, it'd be nice.
I need to do a video on this. But like if you've done the multiple, Not like we used to do the morph ball in the Prime games, and it'll go top down, and sometimes you'll roll through mazes and stuff. Well, I'd want to be able to see that on the gamepad screen and then tilt the gamepad to roll the morph ball through the mazes and then flick it up to jump and do the puzzles whilst looking at the gamepad screen and then seeing something else on the TV as well. Like, just would have been.
Yeah, it could have been amazing. Like, it could have been. But I don't want to. It's too confusing. It's too. I gotta look down at this other screen. I can't do it at the same time. Meanwhile, you look in their background. They got like 5 screen setups on their PCs and shit. Like, shut the fuck up with that.
Yeah, I think do what the Mario Odyssey did. Do what they did for ARMS. Have both options. I mean, I started Odyssey with and everything worked fine. I just for me, I was more comfortable.
Joy-Cons for that game. I want to be able to flick Cappy around me in a circle. It's so much easier with the Joy-Cons. I want to be able to. You could like when you flick his hat upwards, or you can forward downwards to do the extra bounce and stuff. It's just so much easier.
It's easier, but it's still. I got pretty good with it with just the motion controls on the Pro Controller. You just had to let go of one hand and do it. So it wasn't the better option, but it worked pretty well once you got adjusted to it.
What the fuck is wrong with 3DS?
At least you could. At least it still had the motion controls even with the Pro Controller. You could play it where they didn't get in the way. But if you wanted to do Cappy, I'd just quickly do the motion with hold the Pro Controller in my right hand and do the motion, and it worked. Because there was a few advanced moves that you needed to have Cappy do the circle around you, and some puzzles or some solving some.
I mean, you can do it with the Pro Controller. You have to rotate from 360 with the analog stick, and then you press the button and stuff. But
you can do that too.
In terms of just being intuitive,
but
just the
you could actually use the motion of the Pro Controller too. So I mean, it had you covered there. So all right, Dave 97.
Again, what could you do? You could shake the Pro Controller.
You use the Pro Controller just like the Joy-Con. You had to let go of one hand just to make it actually comfortable.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's how I played it. Once I learned I could do that, then you just did it. You just flick it up, and he threw his hat straight up.
Nice.
So, all right.
How long ago did we just start talking about like Oracle of Ages? How long ago do you think that was?
Hour.
A random ass question.
Has it been an hour? No, I'm gonna.
Feels like it's been an hour.
Okay.
I'd say 40 minutes.
I would think it's probably close to.
Oh yeah, it's only been an hour and 9 minutes since we started. So.
Right. So I turned my 3DS on right around that time. It's full charge. It was on the charger. It's dead.
Really?
What?
Yeah. It just died.
Well, your battery's toasted. You know what the good news is?
I need a new battery.
I think that battery's the same as in the Switch Pro Controller or the Switch itself. I can't remember. One of those two has a 3DS battery, so they're still readily available.
Yeah. I'm going to have to get a new
Is this on your new 3DS or your XL?
Yeah, my new 3DS.
God.
Dude, I hadn't turned mine on.
Scary shit.
Since Samus Returns came out with 2017.
I was actually playing my 3DS last night.
Yeah, I turned it on.
It had been dying sooner.
I turned it on, played Samus Returns, and I can't remember anything playing after that or turning it on for anything. And then I turned it on to try Animal Crossing, just to give it a shot a month and a half ago or whatever. And the fucking 3DS was still at like 3 out of the 4 bars. Like the battery had been sitting uncharged for years, or at least a full year, and it was still at like 75%. And I played it for, hours. I played probably 5, 6, 7, 8 hours or something before it got the low battery or whatever it was.
Your battery is better than mine.
And I was like,
I wasn't even playing a game. I was just sitting here in the menu and shit, and put it on 3D.
But anyway, let's get to this next question. Out of the following trio of games, which do you think will release first? GTA 6, which we've had an update on that since then. Mario Kart 9, or Elder Scrolls 6? That's a good question, man. I think Mario Kart 9.
I think Mario Kart 9 for sure.
Yeah, Mario Kart 9.
Because they just said GTA 6 is a long ways off, but that question was asked before they said that. And Elder Scrolls 6...
It's a way long off.
I think you're
it's like, why would they make a new GTA 5? I mean, it's still selling.
I honestly think they could all come out the same year, though.
They could.
About it. 2022, 2023, maybe.
Nah, we're not going to see Elder Scrolls until 2025.
No, they confirmed they're working on it like 2 years ago.
2025.
Yeah, but 2 years ago they said they released. They didn't release it. They had like the teaser, and they even said they barely started working on it because they were still working on like the fucking phone game and the Fallout updates and all that bullshit, you know. And it's the fucking Elder Scrolls. It might be glitchy as fuck, but even to get to the point for it to be glitchy as fuck, you're like 5 years away, easy.
You kill me. For somebody who says the most outlandish things, you're so skeptical about everything.
And honestly,
the duality of retro death.
I'm not gonna lie. It's not just that, you know, we've had Mario Kart 8 and it's, you know, for so long and played these tracks. I played that game more than any other Mario, probably all the Mario Kart 8, all the other previous Mario Kart games combined, probably about what I put into Mario Kart 8 and Deluxe. And you know, even though I said they could have had 9 out by now, I'd still believe that if 8 Deluxe didn't come out, 9 would probably have been out this year, or if not last year. I can't find myself getting excited about the thought of Mario Kart 9 these days. I don't know if it's just the fact that they released the old game. I think some of it has to do with Rocket League, and you know, it's not the same type of game, but I just find that the competitiveness of that game more intriguing than the randomness of the Mario Kart 8. You know,
I say wait for Mario Kart 9 because.
But if I see it, I might completely change. You know,
yeah, but I think they're going to do something. I think they're going to do something different this time. I really do, because 7 and 8, you know, played with the whole, you know, flying, gliding, and, you know, upside down thing. You know, I think they know that's.
Oh, DS started that, didn't it?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. No. It's the glider was in Mario Kart 7 first, wasn't it?
It was in DS first.
The glider.
What was?
Wasn't it?
Glider was 7.
It's 7. Yeah.
I've been playing so much 7. I'm thinking.
And then I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Because I'm thinking because of the DS levels that are in 7.
Yeah. You got me thinking. I was like, no.
Yeah,
it screwed me up.
But
right.
DS didn't really add any mechanic like that.
No, it added PlayStation. It added PlayStation polygon graphics.
I do feel when they drop Mario Kart 9, it's going to. I'm not saying, you know, radically different, but I feel it's going to be different enough to go, okay, this is going to be cool. And I think when
I see it, I'll probably be excited. But the thought of it, so I'm gonna answer this question. I'm just gonna put Mario Kart 9, GTA 6, Elder Scrolls 6 in that order. That's how they'll release.
Yeah, I agree with that order. I just wanted to say about Mario Kart 9 still, because a few days ago I was randomly thinking to myself, okay, what are seriously like the best looking Switch games? And I was thinking, like, you know, because I was playing Animal Crossing and how clean it looks. I was thinking Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, and my thought seriously went to Mario Kart 8, and I had to laugh because that shit was from the Wii U and it still looks so fucking good. Which is why I agree with the fact that we could have had 9 last year if you almost got the graphics the same with some minor changes, and it would have looked current gen because of how
especially in handheld. I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe looks fucking amazing in handheld mode.
Yeah,
that's one of the first things I said about it when I got the game. I think I was at Applebee's or something playing it. I was like, this thing looks gorgeous on this screen.
So before we get to the next question, I want to bring up somebody in the chat. First of all, Be Wild, he said he played Journey and he thinks Rhyme is better. But the reason I bring up Journey is because PlayStation
Rhyme is more.
Did a thing where they starting with 2 games. They didn't announce the other games, but between now and early May, you can download Journey and the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection for free, and then they're yours. You don't disappear after. They're yours as long as you have your PlayStation, I'm guessing. And when you get your PS5, I'm guessing they'd transfer over. So that was cool. Yeah, they're not new games. They're both PS3. Well, the trilogy was remastered. It's not just the PS3 game, so it was cleaned up and improved. The aiming, I guess, and controls are way better on the on the Nathan Drake collection than the original PS3 games. I'm not sure about other benefits, but I think that's a pretty cool thing, and that's 2 games I played Uncharted 2, but I didn't play 1 or 3. I was gonna buy the Nathan Drake collection. It was only $10, but I was gonna buy it anyway. And then Best Buy pissed me off, and I canceled my order because they didn't let me pick it up. They wanted to ship it to me on Black Friday, even though I was in the store and they had copies on hand. They wouldn't give me a copy. So it was just stupid. But so I was gonna get that, and I've always been intrigued by Journey. I was definitely never gonna buy it, but now I can play it. I think it's a cool thing. I know Robert was kind of saying, well, they're both old games, but I was like, yeah, if Nintendo, like they're both last gen games, so that'd be like Nintendo bringing Wii U games. You know, Journey's not a major game, so it'd have to be a smaller.
So like Nintendo is bringing Wii U games.
Yeah, but to give them for free, like that would be like bringing
they give them for free.
Metroid Prime trilogy and Captain Toad or something. You know, like
yeah.
So I think it's cool if you got a PlayStation you didn't know about. That definitely.
But is that PlayStation Plus you're talking about?
No, it's just any PlayStation owner gets them for free.
I didn't know. I got to check that out then.
Both those games were part of PlayStation Plus free games, but these are just absolutely free. You download them, and they're yours to keep. So because of the
how long does that go on?
Till like beginning of May or mid-May. It's a time thing to download them, but you can play them anytime you want after that. Like I downloaded them now. And it's because people are staying home and they're, trying to give. And, you could say it just like when Nintendo gives away Mario Kart 8 and their Black Friday deals. It's obviously the least they could do. It's not like they're throwing God of War or Spider-Man or their top tier games in there. But still, I thought it was
Balls
cool.
in your court, Nintendo.
And those 2 games I was kind of wanted anyway, so it kind of worked out that I've never played them other than Uncharted
3 months of Nintendo Online.
I saw like a 2-week free Nintendo Online if you bought Animal Crossing or something pathetic like that recently. That was a promotion.
2 weeks?
Something like it was minuscule. But so yeah, I'm glad it wasn't Knack like somebody said Europe gets Knack or Japan. Somebody got Knack instead of, I'm not sure which one, Journey or Nathan Drake, but I'm glad it wasn't Knack because I wouldn't even wasted my time downloading that trash. I've seen gameplay. That game is absolutely garbage looking.
Knack is garbage. It
But,
really is.
Yeah, it's a cool little thing. It's better than, it's nothing, it's publicity or, PR, but it's better than doing nothing.
Yeah, they could have gave away Knack. Why didn't they give? They could have done the bare minimum. Gave Knack away.
They could have done any of the launch games, Killzone Shadowfall. That I wouldn't.
Remember that one?
Hey, if they would have done Robert's favorite game.
Robert's, it's the Insomniac game.
What the fuck's Infamous Second Son? I might have actually checked it out. Just like that's how I played the first Infamous. But anyway, next question's from
repetitive ass bullshit.
Mizutide89. Rewatching the Wii U Zelda tech demo, which we talked about, or somebody talked about it in a video, or did we talk about that last?
Yeah, week? I put it in a video recently.
Okay. Man, they were promising some unrealistic stuff with that. I'd been a Horizon Zero Dawn it'd be a Horizon Zero Dawn stiff ass game if they went with that style and slightly watered down. Do you reckon a game like that was ever possible to run within reason in a massive world? I don't think it would have been in a massive world because that would have been the more structured Zelda if they did that.
Yeah, it would have been Twilight Princess. Not even that. It probably
haven't seen games come close on Switch yet. I disagree with that. I rewatched it and I was not that. I think Breath of the Wild looks not just artistically better. I think Breath of the Wild technically looks better with everything.
What's that? Is he saying a Spaceful demo?
No, the Wii U tech demo.
The Wii U tech demo.
Let me get that up on screen.
The Wii U tech demo.
I mean, it looks fine, but I was never blown away.
Animation looks great. I think the animation looks really good.
Well, you could tell the anime. I mean, it's just a tech demo, right? You could tell.
But it's just a tech demo, right?
Like it's set up, and it would never play like that.
It's not
going to look that good in the game. It's not going to smooth that smoothly.
Teaching people what the fuck tech demos are, like teaching people what a patent is. Like people just don't understand these things. Like you're in gaming for like a decade. This game is not gonna be that. It's not gonna be a game. It's not what it's about. Yeah. It's not a trailer or a preview and shit. It's like it's nothing. It's just.
I will say the way they handled lighting probably.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
That one definitely.
It looks. I mean, off the top of my head, it looks smoother and sharper,
Yeah,
more like PC type of sharper.
Yeah, the ground super reflective. You see Link's actual reflection.
Oh, there you go. You got it on the screen.
Yeah, I do agree with that stuff. That stuff definitely wouldn't have been.
And that was just off screen.
Because this is
they never had a direct feed of that. It was
this is off screen. It does look better than I was just giving it credit for. Because honestly, some of these reflections and stuff looks like what they're trying to do right now with ray tracing on like $1,200 graphics card. So yeah,
it looks good. But if you look at like the colors for one, barely. And then you look at like Link looked like he's hairy or something in the face. Like it's there's something off about his skin texture.
But the actual
like really
spider
weird.
doesn't look out of the realm of Wii.
No, spider looks cool.
But yeah,
that's the shit that always bothers me though about Nintendo, because even though I understand it's a tech demo, it pisses me off. They did it with the fucking GameCube and they did it with Wii U and shit. It's like, bitch, can you just make these actual games?
If you'll allow me a couple of minutes, because I got into a long multi-post argument with somebody about this. Somebody recently put up a video with that tech demo on it, and or something like that. And somebody in the comments said, "Oh man, I wish this is the Zelda we would have gotten." He got like 800 likes and shit. And then I went in and I just said, because somebody down in his replies said, "Yeah, man, this was what I was looking for, because this speaks more to the roots of Zelda." And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It speaks more to the roots of Zelda. Oh, you talking about the concept art on Zelda 1 and Zelda The Adventure of Link? Because if anything, Breath of the Wild looks way closer to the roots of Zelda than anything you're talking about here. And then he starts, when you call somebody on some shit, then they start moving the goalposts and shit. Or like, after, what was it? Ocarina of Time, and this was the Zelda I was expecting. After that, they did the Space World thing, like you guys were talking.
Mm-hmm.
They did the Space World fight. And I'm like, that shit was never gonna be. Well, if you look at the animation on that, it was like nothing the GameCube would ever gonna be able to do, like in a full on game. Yeah, you can do that in a little tiny room with, 2 characters, of course. Well, but that was not. And Nintendo said this is a demo. This is not representative of any game. They say that every time. And yeah, of course, you're still thinking, oh man, but it could be something like that, So you get your hopes up and shit, and then you get like Wind Waker. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and I'm not kidding here. Like the way his reflection is like a perfect reflection in this super shiny like that's the stuff they're trying to do right now with fucking ray tracing and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what this
that would have never been a game.
There's no way it could have done that stuff. But if you just look at the detail of the character model and maybe the spider and the environment, it would have been at a lot lower overall clarity and resolution. But I think
I just remember people said, "Oh, because they finally showed Breath of the Wild, right? I don't know when they did a snap and whatever." I was like, "Oh, this is a downgrade from what they showed from the beginning." I was like, "Bitch, that wasn't the game. That was a tech demo."
But I do think
they've been showing tech demos of Zelda since N64, and N64 was the only one where it actually looked better because they figured N64 out after that demo.
But look at
Link looks terrible in the demo for N64. He looked.
I want to play the Breath of the Wild.
A dwarf or some shit.
Cutscene.
Well, the thing about like the Space World demo as well. We have to remember, why a reason why we were so hyped about it is because we just came off, for me, which is the best boss fight just ever made in a video game. When you're fighting Ganon at the end of Ocarina of Time, you were coming off that, and then you see Link fighting Ganondorf with a sword and stuff. That's what I was hyped. I was like, my God,
I was hyped too. Don't get me wrong.
Are we gonna be able to fight him like this? This is gonna be fucking amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But look at this Breath of the Wild. Look at this early footage. This still looks jaw dropping. But when you see Link at the end, he's doing animations and stuff that didn't fully get implemented into the game. But you don't ever see him from that perspective when he's doing stuff. I think if you had like some cinematic angle, and you could see him doing things, and jumping, and more when he
I think it would probably be when he does the jump and he does the slow motion aim.
Yeah, I wonder.
I think it would be pretty close to that.
Well, the thing is,
but the destructible environments and stuff.
I know it's different, and I know there's a bit more going on here. But what's for the most part, geography wise, obviously it all changed, but it's still not that far off what we got.
No.
If they've removed destructible stuff. I mean, this is a cutscene anyway. You can tell all that, and I think they might have wanted to do this in the game to have them really chase you down and stuff. But I mean,
Breath of the Wild that sense of fear,
Yeah, Breath of the Wild went through so many changes, and I'm not surprised that they finally got to where they got to.
And it was.
Did they even have the physics engine when they showed that?
No.
They didn't even have that yet. So.
All right. So second part of his question, another Mario Kart 8. I see before I even read it, all the amount of detail that went into Mario Kart 8, all the little details hidden on the vases and tapestry you never really see is immense for the track worlds when you slow down. I would love the Mario Kart team to tackle an open world Mario game. What are your thoughts on them giving it a go, and do you wish they were free to do more projects? Only know they've done ARMS recently. Yeah, I don't know what else they've done. I guess followed that specific team. Yeah. But I think that's Nintendo in general. All their games have that all that detail. Just look at Luigi's Mansion 3, made by Next Level Games.
Oh,
tons of little details, like Odyssey, tons of little details. So I think they always do that, but I'd be curious what that team would do.
Yeah, just go. I mean, I know Retro also watches Boundary Break. Go watch the Boundary Break episode of Mario Kart 8. Like, oh my gosh.
Mental.
So honestly,
it's crazy the amount of detail they put in that game, and you'll never see some of that stuff.
Sonic Racing R, the new one, that had some ridiculous like skyscrapers. Had
Sonic
apartments
Racing,
in them, fully furnished and shit. Like
crazy. I feel like the Mario. The question was about the open world Mario game, right?
Yeah, made by the Mario Kart.
I swear that is something I used to want for years. I was like, dude, we could get like an open world Mario game. You make it like Mario Kart, the levels you're walking around, or like actual open 64, that kind of stuff. But then Odyssey released, and I started thinking like, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna actually enjoy an open world Mario game, because like Odyssey to me, like I said, it felt very flat. And open world games, you can't make it all platform. It's going to be very flat for a big part, which works in an adventure game like Zelda. But for a platform like Mario, it got me kind of scared after I saw Odyssey.
I'd rather have more structured levels than an open world Mario.
Yeah, I think it works better for Mario.
He's more of a 3D world guy than he is an Odyssey guy.
Mm-hmm.
He likes the flagpole at the end.
I like the challenging, not just finding moons randomly hidden throughout.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess
I just remember the first time I played Mario Kart 64, and because it gave me that kind of feeling. Whose track is it? Where you can drive up to the castle.
Peach's Raceway.
Yeah, Peach's Raceway, and it's just like they didn't need to do this, but they did it. Like that's the kind of cool shit I like to see in games when they.
Now it bothered me when in Mario Kart 8 they put a wall there and you couldn't drive up to that.
Yeah,
shit.
That was so lame. Well, not even that, but like what they did with Rainbow Road on 64. It's just a travesty.
It's so short now.
Why not just
have
you be able to choose the amount of laps you want to race?
Right.
Like it was a 3-lap.
It looks really nice when Mario Kart 8, the Mario Kart 64.
That's why I love to play through a couple.
Yeah, it looks nice, but they don't let you do the whole damn track.
We used to play with my friends, Peach's Royal Raceway. We'd go to the castle area and just invent our own games. We'd play tag, for example, there. But you can't even do that in Mario Kart 8 because the second you look the other way, you instantly get the fucking like, yeah, exactly. They're putting you straight. Like, let me drive the fucking way I want to. Like, I know it's the wrong way. That's why I'm doing it.
They're afraid you're gonna break the game.
If you were losing in Mario Kart 64, I was losing last. Like, I was just fuck this shit. I'm turning around and just take some weapons and like start attacking people and driving the wrong direction and shit.
Yeah. So they're afraid you're gonna glitch it out somehow and cheat.
Donnie Art says we might be getting another finished N64 game that was canceled coming out. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, what game is it?
Yeah.
A secret. It's been a long time. I think you can tell us.
Yeah.
Sounds like an Emily Rogers rumor. Oh, there's another Wii U game coming.
She said it's going to be a good year to be a plumber. No. So, I mean, that could mean any Mario game comes out and she could say she was right.
Right. Oh, see, I was right. She goes, don't wear ties.
She goes, it's going to be good. She also said it's going to be a good year for casuals. And then she goes, her scorecard she put out for herself, she put Animal Crossing next to, said it's going to be a good year for casuals. We knew Animal Crossing was going to come out like a year and a half ago. What the fuck? You can't use that. I'm gonna
talk like,
here's the thing about
like Jews then. Like, how can you have a good year? Like, the year's already almost over, like half of it and shit.
No. Here's the thing, though, about that plumbers, it would be a good year to be a plumber. That could mean a ton of stuff. It could mean nothing to do with Mario. Like there was this game that came out. I think it was on the Panasonic 3DO called "Plumbers Don't Wear Ties."
Oh,
it could be that because we've gotten stuff like that with what's the game Night Trap and whatnot. So we've gotten stuff like that. So it could just be that horrible. It wasn't even really a full motion game. It was just like JPEGs in the storyline.
We better stop bashing Emily Rogers, though. Terrell was listening earlier. I know how he's a fan. He's a defender.
Look, I have no problem with her personally.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a problem
obviously, somebody who gets information ahead of time talks to her. I mean, there's no denying that. She hasn't always been right. But to say vague comments and then take credit for saying, I said casuals are going to be happy this year. We got Animal Crossing. Check. Like, no, bitch.
No, you can't do that.
So he said the game is ODT, Escape or Die Trying.
Oh, fuck, no.
I mean,
Escape or Die Trying. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it sounds like something nobody
can't wait for that Finnish N64 game that got canceled.
Hey, you guys have never heard of. You could laugh about it, but the one that came out and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So 40 Winks, and that really made me. What's that?
It was on the PS1 ODT, but I didn't realize it was being made by the N64.
Oh yeah, it's on the PS1. That's why I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like 40 Winks then, because 40 Winks came out for PS1 as well, and they canceled it for the N64 right after that. Even though the game was finished, it was finished, but they didn't want to. They didn't want to buy those carts.
Crazy.
So yeah, that's cool. I'd buy it if it's good. It's got to be good though.
All right, so TriLink added this one after we started talking about Metroid Prime. What are your favorite tracks from the Metroid Prime series? You can include Federation Force.
Oof.
I like the fucking title screen music of Metroid Prime. that might be the best one. Maybe I can't remember if Prime 1 and 3 which one I liked better. Cuz I can't hear them in my head which one's which, but
they're all mixing together to me. I can't even.
You know, like Fendrana Drifts was good, and Magmore Caverns. I don't know. Last time I played it, I didn't love it as much as I remembered.
Okay,
but...
I could in terms of Prime 1, I could name all the big ones. Like Fendrana Drifts and and all that stuff. But there's two fucking tracks in Metro Prime 1 that just, if you want atmosphere, just play these now. But the first one is the Phase On Mines, but it needs to be the
Phase On Mines.
Needs to be the main theme. Oh God, it's just fucking. I play that so much. And the other one is what's it called? Talent Overworld. It's Talent Overworld, but the depths. Talent Overworld depths is just fucking. It's just sublime. Now don't get, like I said, I can name all the big ones, but those two, the Phase On My main theme and the Talent Overworld depths. Play those now, and then just come back to me. You go, goddamn, clocked it. I forgot about these tracks. You were right. Goddamn.
For me, it's they've all been named, I think. Anyway, like Juice at Fendrana Drifts is just fucking art. It's such a good song. The Prime, like you said too, the Prime 1 title screen music is one of the greatest Metroid songs ever. And my all-time favorite one is also Prime 1. It is also the Talon Overworld, but the original Talon Overworld when you first land on the planet and you have the jungle around you and shit. Like, that's my favorite track.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with the title screen too, because I knew once I heard that, I knew this game wasn't fucking around. Like, like this shit was just like gorgeous. It was great, and the way they remixed the original, song, and that was just great. I was just thinking, oh yeah, this is gonna be
A great
an
remix
amazing
is
game.
Magmore Caverns.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Did the Metroid Prime trilogy have its own title screen music too? Separate?
Well, it did.
I don't think so.
It did, but
Did
they messed that up on the Prime trilogy because they took away the title screens of each game. Because when you started if you started the Prime 1, Prime 2, or Prime 3, you just have Samus do like a little gun flash thing on the screen in whatever was the main armor of each game. But they removed the actual title screens of each game from the Prime trilogy. It's one of the biggest things. I was meant to actually mention it earlier when we were talking about what to add in the Metroid Prime trilogy. If it came to the Switch, bring back the title screens because they weren't in the Prime trilogy all the way.
The whole title screen is with the music, and like I love like those graphics were fucking, I'm saying it again, but those graphics were fucking amazing. You saw those like zoom up shit of like cells and organisms and stuff, man. That is a sexy fucking title screen.
Yeah, Prime 3 intro earlier. They said they.
Yeah, you know what reminded me of it was that what's the game on Wii U? It's like a Body Wars, but made by it was one of the launch. Was it the launch game?
Trauma Center?
No.
Wii U?
It was on Wii U. Yeah, it's a shooter, a twin stick shooter, 3D.
Sin and
by,
Punishment.
by the guys who made
Shinin.
Well, the guys, yeah, by Shinin.
I got it. It's fucking.
I
can't remember the name. I can never remember the name of this game. I was just playing it like a week ago.
Anyway. It does remind me of Metroid Prime.
Yeah, that
Nano
reminded
Assault
me of Metroid
Neo.
Prime. Yes, Nano Assault Neo.
There we go. Thank you. But yeah, I mean the Prime 3, the Prime 3 intro. I mean all the Prime intro songs are fucking fire anyway. But the Prime 3 one is awesome because you get the vocals in it as well. They just like
it sounds like a chicken trying to sing opera.
And then it just kicks in. It goes like, oh, it's so fucking good anyway.
So while we've been talking about that, I put on
Mr. Doubtfire, wasn't
it? Yeah.
I put on the latest Minecraft ray tracing video with Digital Foundry. Just talked with the 3 people that were involved from NVIDIA. And, whether you think it makes Minecraft not look like Minecraft anymore, I do think if some of these games that we're talking about, these older games like Metroid Prime, or even going farther back, because Minecraft's pretty simplistic game. Like I think instead of like full remasters and stuff, like just what this new advanced lighting and shit could do, I'd almost think this could add more to like a Metroid remake. They wouldn't even have to really do anything. I mean, yeah, the character models and stuff would still have their flaws, and but I almost think like this. I think this is the obvious future where games going, because
it's ray tracing and shit.
But where else can they take gaming, like visuals? Where else can they take? I mean, we got Kratos on the base PlayStation 3. Looks, I mean, fucking phenomenal.
Dude, in like 5 years' time, everyone, everyone's gonna be like, man, God of War looks whack now.
Oh well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, they can.
Well, that's
improve
where they can
that.
take it. They're gonna improve it. They
can improve it. They can add more detail. I don't think God of War will age quite in 5 years, but 10, 15 years probably, because I think some of those games they last a little bit longer. Like Metroid Prime, for instance. I think that probably took at least 10 years before you started saying,
well, that's because of the art style.
Looks a little dated, but I'm just intrigued by, like, they were even talking about the potential to have a puzzle based around blending light using like clear blocks for Minecraft. That was just the example I was using, and it could be like a puzzle where you have to reach a certain color. It's just a very basic idea of what this could be, more than just visuals. You could actually affect gameplay and stuff. Where actually a puzzle would be you have to put certain colored blocks coming through, and then the color that blends together. Obviously blue and red makes purple, or blue and yellow makes green. It's just stuff like that. Very basic stuff. I'd love to see, what they actually, a game developer, what they could
that's
do.
the thing though. Who's going to do that? You're not going to see that in too many games. It's not gonna. They're not going to think that intricately about big blockbuster games for sure. So you're going to have a couple of niche games.
Yeah, we could talk about an indie studio doing something like that, or Nintendo doing something like that. There's more possibilities than just, hey, it looks prettier, type of stuff. But I just find this pretty exciting, because I think the last big graphical. I'm trying to think after polygons, I guess adding texture to polygons. I can't really think of any one thing that was just like, yeah, that was a game changer, or that changed the course of visuals and stuff. It seems like it's been more gradual progressions, better just textures, better, more polygons and stuff. I feel like I can't think of some major individual thing.
Can somebody tell me why? This is still talking on graphics, because we haven't really touched this yet. Why are people excited for Crysis on Switch?
I don't fucking know.
What the fuck? Oh my god, can you believe this game from the 7th gen is going to be able to run on the Switch?
Well, the problem it's going to have is that's a very CPU heavy game, and it's still to this day makes systems struggle. But I don't know what
that has to do with the engine. It has to do.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Crysis came out on. I'm trying to remember.
It came out on 360.
I have it on the PS3.
Let me look.
Yeah,
I know it was a PC.
PS3.
I think Crysis.
It came out in 2007. So
Crysis 2 came out on the PS3. I got Crysis. I'm sure I got Crysis 2 on the PS3.
Let's see, Crysis.
they're both from
2007.
I just told you, my bro.
No, because I know I got Crysis. I sure I got Crysis.
Believe in T.
Yeah, because if it would probably just be the PS3, Xbox 360 version with whatever improvements they could make.
Well, they're gonna enhance it, but still, wow, I just don't understand. I've seen people getting all excited, oh my god!
Plus, it was never a great game.
Run on the Switch,
never did a game. It's one of those old games. It was a bit like Far Cry.
The thing that people remember about it is that it crippled their PCs.
Yeah,
it wasn't anybody saying anything about the gameplay.
It was never that great of a game.
It was almost like a tech demo, just to
basically
say,
right.
How much we could push a PC. And I remember that happened when the first Far Cry came out. Far Cry 1
Far Cry, same thing.
The first Far Cry game blew up my PC. Absolutely blew it up. It just would not run it. And the same thing happened with Crysis, but it doesn't mean that they must play exceptional games.
This is
it
the
means
guys
nothing
that
2
made,
generations later. I would think
they haven't made this. In my opinion, they've never really made a great game. I thought the Far Cry was it Instincts on the Xbox. It was a late Xbox original game, and some other team took the core game and added all this these enhancements, so you could jump 100 yards at a time. It was this awesome overlooked experience, and
it turned it into
they made the original Far Cry game into a really cool game. I don't know who did it, but I was watching I think it's Donkey's video about playing Crysis, and that shit is just terrible. For its time, I'm sure it was pretty cool, but it's just stupid. Some of that shit is just stupid. And
Donkey is hilarious.
Who cares about this game 13 years later coming to Switch? I mean, it's coming to PS4,
That's
Xbox One, but fucking cares. Point. But yeah, I mean, it's not like this footage is from 2015. It's not like they've added things to Crysis over the years. It's not just the launch game running at higher resolutions I
understand that. Whoa.
I don't know, in 2007, I doubt all this foliage and all these leaves were achieved by even the most expensive graphics cards. So it's they've tweaked the game, just like The Witcher 2 is very demanding still today, but they've added a bunch of modern effects that really tax your PC. So it's not like this. If you took the base day one build of Crysis, the Switch should probably run it pretty easily.
It's the Witcher 3 team who ported it. The ones who ported Witcher 3 to Switch. That's who's doing Crysis, I think, right?
I saw that shit come out everywhere. Everybody was talking all of a sudden about Crysis this, Crysis that. I know for the Switch, Crysis coming to the Switch. And I was looking at that. I was like, everybody's super excited, and that fucking fake hype, everybody's hyping it up. And I was like, are you guys seriously talking about the game I think I'm thinking? So I picked up my game, and I looked at the teaser they released, and I'm like, this is what they're talking about. Why is everybody hyped about this?
More old fucking games.
More old games.
Next to that enemy, and he survived it. He was just standing there, just like, okay.
Yeah, this.
I don't understand gamers
It's
today.
Not
man.
a particularly good game.
That's what I'm saying. They don't make good
it's so
games.
mediocre.
Crytek doesn't make good games. They make good-looking games. That's it.
They make nice tech demos.
Crysis 3 was boring as fuck, man. It's like
it was so boring.
It's this game, and then what else? We got the BioShock games. I don't think there's gonna be like any. Maybe they'll run at a higher resolution. I don't think the Switch is gonna do anything particularly special with those. I mean, and I don't think with Crysis, unless it's the one version that has gyro aiming. I don't see where. I don't know.
I get more excited about, like I said, I'd be more excited about games that were great in that gen but didn't do well. Bring those.
Yeah. Did Bulletstorm ever come out for? Did it ever release?
Where's Bulletstorm? They announced that shit, and it was like it went quiet like Hat in Time and shit. Oh, it's coming soon.
I thought it released.
I just forgot about it.
Bulletstorm come on the Switch. I thought it did.
Did it?
Let's look.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything about it.
I'm pretty sure Switch Up would have reviewed it if it come out on Switch.
Full clip edition. Oh shit.
Everything you need to know 7 months ago on Switch is awesome. 7 months ago. Did it come out though?
I don't think it came out, bro.
Gameplay, first 25 minutes, direct feed, 7 months ago. Maybe it did come out. Yeah, it's out. Somebody said in the chat. It's probably digital only.
Oh, that's probably why I didn't know it was out. Because I don't fuck with.
This guy has a whole YouTube channel with off-screen footage of games when they come out. I watched a few of his videos back in the day when.
Oh, is it that dude that you
Mark
just see his hands?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny how we end up watching the same shit on YouTube.
It's got Duke Nukem in it though. It's worth right there. That's worth owning.
Did he just not have a capture card, or is that just his niche?
I think that's his niche.
Yeah.
I mean, the footage ain't looking too smooth when he's turning the camera, but I don't know. It could just be his camera recording. But it's like, who cares? I mean, yeah, that's kind of probably a cool little game. Oh, I do remember a review now. I remember the review. It was, forget who specifically, which review I watched, and they said it's a pretty cool game with some design flaws they don't like with the core structure of the game, but not a bad game for what it is. But it's like, yeah, I mean, if I really wanted to play Bulletstorm, I probably would have played it back on the 360.
I have the 360 one. I don't have full clip edition. That comes with Duke Nukem.
Yeah. I just can't get excited for these old games that, since I've had ways to play these old games and chose not to even back in the day. Like, why do I care about playing them now? That's just, I don't know. It's just weird. It is, but on the other hand, it's like, these games have never been on a Nintendo system, so in that regard, it's kind of, there's a little bit of a interest just in that, saying that, hey, BioShock's on a Nintendo console for the first time.
Yeah. I'm not hating that they're coming. I'm not going to get excited. Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This 12-year-old game. Oh, wow.
This reminds me, this is the review. It's got more unique gameplay elements than Wolfenstein, The New Order or whatever, the PS3, Xbox 360 game that I bought on PS4. And I couldn't get into it. Just like, this feels so 2008, 2009 Call of Duty wannabe games, like with the scripted events and all that shit. And I just can't get excited for this stuff. But anyway, I think
these games need to exist. They're absolutely fine. It's just,
I'm not saying the game's trash, but
they just need to be a certain level of interest, for you as an individual, and then a certain price point. It's just, like you said, it's hard to. If this was a brand new, AA shooter, that looked nifty, had a few cool designs and stuff, then yeah, my attention would be there. But it's just that because we've seen all this and been there and done that, it's just, I mean,
and we've had ways to play these games. I mean, all of us have had the Xbox 360. I think maybe Retro didn't. I don't know.
It's like when you say, it's the first time it's been on the Nintendo platform. I mean, I'm not sitting here just owning my Nintendo Wii during the 360 era, and the PS3 era. I had every console. You got to move around. If you only got one console, and there's two reasons. One, because you can't afford anymore, or two, you just want the one console.
I can't imagine being a Wii only owner that generation with all those great games came out for PS3, Xbox 360. I just can't imagine only having the Wii during that generation. I did for the first couple of years, but
right.
You would have. I mean, as a gamer, you would have missed out on too much.
I mean,
too much.
It got to the point where I was like, I gotta get a 360. I gotta play BioShock. I gotta play Dead Space. I gotta play Assassin's Creed, which turned out to be shit, but I gotta play Gears of War.
What was for me? March 2006. That's when I reached that point. Gotta get a 360.
Oh, you got when did it come out? 2005.
Yeah.
I got mine in 2008, believe it or not. So I was a Wii only for almost. Well, I didn't get the Wii right away. I got it in early 2007. So it was about a year and a half.
How'd you find one?
Of only Wii. I had to go wait out in the fucking cold at 5 a.m. But I was a Nintendo fan to a fault until I got my 360. That really, I mean, I had the original Xbox, but there were some great games on there, but it didn't convert me to like, hey, I'm a multi-console owner till the 360 came out, and then I started playing all these games that I've been envious of and trying to downplay for 2 years, and once I played Twilight Princess and Super Mario Galaxy, Metroid Prime 3. And I was like, all right, well, let me see what the 360 has to offer. And then my mind was just blown by some of the games, just the twist at the end of BioShock. Like, I'd never seen anything like that in a game. So.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah.
It's going to be new to a lot of people. It's going to be on Switch, so.
But anyway, I think we wrapped this up. It was I thought we'd run out of things to say after an hour, just 4 of us, but I should know better.
You need to stop saying that shit.
Actually, I feel like sometimes
stop saying or thinking that shit.
The less people we have, the more each person talks. And
there's always somebody with like dumbass opinions and shit that need to talk all the time.
But right? Yeah, so thanks everybody. We're gonna need some more questions. We'll build them up if we don't have enough. But there wasn't a whole lot like new news to talk about.
That's going to be the case for a while. I think.
We had release dates for a release date for
nothing.
Streets of Rage 4. With the new trailer has come out April 30th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The digital version.
I wonder how long I'm gonna have to wait for my limited run version copy of that.
I will say, man, I've always thought that was a pretty good looking game. And I really like the art style.
Yeah. So they clocked it, right? Clocked it.
No.
Once they added the old
style of Axel, I hate it. I like the backgrounds. I thought the backgrounds looked great. And I thought Blaze looked really cool.
You didn't like that Axel had a beard. You didn't like that shit, huh?
But yeah, I mean, I just wanted more from Streets of Rage 4. But now that we're getting what we're getting, it looks like a massive homage to everything that originally Streets of Rage was, and it looks like they've done a great job. So I'm gonna be all over.
I kind of like what I saw in the last trailer, though, like the attacks and everything. Like it looked like there was more attacks than a standard beat 'em up and shit. Like the air attacks seemed really satisfying.
It almost looked like a fighting game.
They've shown a lot more now. A lot of stuff I was talking about is actually being shown now, but they've actually shown a lot of the best stuff in the last 2 trailers. It's almost like it wasn't ready, or they weren't there yet, and everything that you've kind of at least wanted from Streets of Rage 4, if you're going to keep it like this, that they've added now. So I'm just like, okay, there we go, great, can't wait, gonna play it, love it.
So you're gonna play it in classic mode more than the new?
Well, no, I mean, it's Streets of Rage, isn't it? So I want to play with you first of all because it's 2 players online, so I want to play online. And I mean, I'll be completing it with all the characters. I mean, I think it ends up being about 15 characters. I mean, it's crazy. I think it's a great homage, and I'm glad. Like I said, once I found out that, remember I did that video of when I found out that the original composers were working on it.
Yeah.
once I hear that, I was like, that was a weight off my shoulders. I was like, okay, we're gonna
well, that's a big part of the Streets of Rage.
We're gonna get
the music
that we needed, and that was a big weight off my
shoulders.
Because
early reports were that it played amazing, even like over a year ago. I think I feel like people were raving about how awesome it played.
I was just like, I wanted, because Streets of Rage is so big to me, I wanted that AAA budget behind it, to really take it to the next level. But what they're doing looks like a fantastic homage with great new levels, some nice little features, and then all the extra retro stuff. I'm gonna be more than happy playing this game, and I know I'm gonna love it. So
just like a Panzer Dragoon remake.
I'm curious. Isn't that coming to other systems, or is it?
Yeah, I think so. PC next time.
What, Panzer?
It just looks so sluggish. The Switch version. I don't know if it's the frame rate or just the design of the game. It just looks like it's moving so slow, and the aiming and stuff doesn't look.
It's got a lot of issues. It's got a lot of issues, and I spoke about that as well. Where you just like, you don't, when someone has crafted something, when you're taking on Sega from the arcades, these guys who mastered lock-on systems and all this stuff. Just don't fuck around. Don't break it. Don't try to do something different. Don't try and beat it because you can, because no one else is beating Sega at the moment in terms of some of those arcade classics. Just no one. So, they shouldn't have changed what they did, and it's greatly affected what the remake could have been. So that's...
All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. I'm absolutely starving, so we're gonna. I mean, it's been 2 hours. We did good podcast, good questions, and good participation. So I'm guessing it popped up for people, and the notifications working again, it seems, because I haven't got a notification.
Yeah, I saw it.
So, we'll be back next week. Hopefully, we'll have Terrell back. And like I said last week, Robert is indefinite. He doesn't know when his schedule will go back to normal. So we'll just play it by ear. But anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back same time, same bat channel next week. Peace.